Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about how we can consume a third-party REST API into ServiceNow. Here are the steps that we'll be focusing to accomplish this task. First we need to get API data from this website, and next we will create a custom table in ServiceNow and we'll create a property for holding API key in sysproperties table. Then we will create a script to initiate RESTful connection and parse the data into the ServiceNow. So let's go to this website first. So this is the website where I'm going to get the REST API data or REST API endpoints. So this is a free website. You can go and subscribe yourself and get this data. So let's go to this REST countries. So as you can see, this is a this shows the endpoint that we'll be needing in our REST message, and this header information and this key information. So now let's go to ServiceNow, and I want to show you I already created the table, the custom table, just to save the time. So if you see, this is the custom table that I created, and it has just five fields. So these fields will be populated through API. So next I'm going to go and create a key property in sysproperties table. So go 6 properties dot list. Create a new key. This property is going to be used to hold the key value, the API key value. So I'm going to name is country key. So the value I can get it from the API. So this is the key value that we have. And then submit it. Okay, so now we go back to ServiceNow and we are going to create REST message. In order to create REST message, just type here REST and go to Outbound REST message, click new. So here you can name anything. I'm going to name it get country data. Endpoint, we need to copy it from here, this website that I showed you earlier. Copy the endpoint information and then save it. So once you save this, what it does, actually it creates a default HTTP method. So just go and open this HTTP method. I'm going to rename it get maybe country method, and HTTP method I'll be using get, and this is the endpoint that is coming from the REST message. So now this is done and click save. So after that we need to provide the header information. So for the header information we need to go back again to the API and grab the headers from here. And this is the value. Okay. And the next is API key. So for API key, I do not want to use this hard-coded value. What I'm going to use is copy this information here and actually create a variable to hold the API key. So I'm going to create a variable here, country key. You can name anything, whatever you like. So country key here, and the next thing is the query parameters. So for this demo I'm not using it, but if you like you can use to limit the data or filter the data uh, for the query parameters. So now again save it. So next we need to I need to click auto generate variables. Click on this, and what it does actually, it generate a test variable so that you can test the data, which is here country key, right? So this variable is coming from the variable that you define in the header. So you need to provide a test value here, and I think let's paste it. This is the key value that I got from the website, and save it. So with that our REST message is complete. So now what we need to do, we can always test this message. Let's test. So now you see that the REST message returns this JSON data, and this is the country data that we are getting from the third-party API. But if you see, this data is not really well formatted. What I can do, I can just copy this data, and I have another website that I use. Go here and paste it, and it converts this data in this more readable format, where you can see that it is showing all the country data. For example, the name, the capital, region, and population. These are the field that I am getting into by ServiceNow. I'll be getting into the ServiceNow. I mean, you can get more fields, but this is how we are going to populate, or this is data from on this website. Okay, so now what we need to do, I think the last step is we need to create a schedule script, and then we will run the script. So we go back here, and actually I have another session here. Just so go schedule jobs, click new. Okay, so I can say here get country data API run. I wanna run it on demand, and for a script actually you can save it here. So this is where we will be creating our script. So now if we go back to our REST message, when we created REST message, ServiceNow automatically creates a script that you can use. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this script and paste it in right here. Okay, so we need to modify this script a little bit. So first of all, if you see, this is hard coding the value here. So what we need to do, get the country key that we created in sysproperties table. So what I can do here, we define a variable country key equal to gs.get property, and this requires, we need to find out the country key properties. So let's save this, and now go back to another session because I don't want to lose this session here. Close this, sys service pro list. So this is what we created. So just copy this value from here and go here. So instead of hard coding it, just put this value here. Okay, and now this country key we need to put it here and then save it. Okay, we don't need this code, so you can remove it, and you may want to format this code. Okay, so, and I would also like to basically wrap this code in a function. So create a function here, function get country data again. Okay, so now we need to call this function. So let's do this, get country data. Okay, and I just want to make sure that I am getting the right key information. So what I'm going to do is do gs dot info here and country key so I can see this information into system logs, and let's save it and execute now. Let's go here. We are done with this. We can close this window. System log, go to alls. So here you can see that we are getting the the key information. So far our code is correct. Now in this line we are getting the response from API. So again, let's do a gs info here, and you can say response body equals to this is what we are getting. And again save it. Now we do not need this, so just comment this out and execute. Now go back to your log and refresh the log. So response body. Okay, I am going to pause my script for a second here to troubleshoot this. Okay, I don't know why it was not showing it. So now if I run it, so click execute now and go back to your log. So this is the response that body that we are getting from ServiceNow. So this response body has all the country data and we just need to parse it. So for that again we need to modify our script. So what we need to do, we need to create another function to basically parse this data and populate into the ServiceNow. So in order to save the time, I already have created a script. So this is my script. Okay, something I missed it here. String constant. Yeah, I need to. Okay. So this is the script function that I created to parse the data. So first thing that I'm doing it, I am going to this country table and deleting the record, all the record, because you want to keep the data updated all the time. So best way is basically delete the entire table and then recreate the table. So this code is basically just deleting the entire table data, and then I am going there and getting response. This is the response that we are getting. So this response, we are parsing this into an object, and then we have a JavaScript. Basically you can comment this thing. This is just for the troubleshooting purpose. So we have a JavaScript that parse this information and create a record in country table line by line. So it's a very straightforward script. So again, I can save it. But okay, so this script is complete, except I am going to comment this out as well, and we need to call this function because I'm not calling this parsing function. Oh, just copy this here, paste it, and we need to pass this object to this function. Here's an object, and save it. Okay, so now it looks like the script is complete. What I can do, and just click execute now. Okay, and go back to my another session, see list, go to country table. Okay, so here you see all the country data is populated. It has 250 country listed. Now if you want to search any country like United States, click this, and these are the 5 fields that we are getting the data from REST API. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching my videos.